Digital transformation, it's something every CEO should be really looking and considering what they're going to do. You have many companies over the years and over the last 2 decades that have done digital transformation and they've seen their business booming. Some others actually didn't do anything about digital transformation, and some of those companies have actually disappeared. And you could be a department inside a company, you could be a whole company, you could be in different lines of businesses. It doesn't really matter what your activity is. There are many ways to digitally transform your business. Let's take a few examples. Kodak, for instance, well known for their film, and for all the photography business that they had. But unfortunately, they filed for bankruptcy in 2012 because they failed to take the digital turn. Digital cameras came out. They were late into getting into that business. They thought that the films and all the patents that they held was going to keep them going forward for a few more years, and it didn't. So they filed for bankruptcy in 2012, and oddly enough, the only division of Kodak that survived today is their scanner division. Another great example is Microsoft. Now, they are still a very, very successful company, of course, but they failed to take the turn for search engines. So when they got into that business, it was kind of late, and Google was way advanced, and they never really caught up. And the same for the phones. They arrived late on the phone market. They tried to do that Windows phone, but it never caught on. And since then, they have completely disappeared. So still a great company, but failed on some aspects of their business to take the digital transformation turn. Another great example is Blockbuster. In 2000, Netflix proposed them a partnership, but they didn't want to work with them, and Netflix already had that vision that everything was going to go streaming media. Nobody would want to actually watch DVDs anymore, go to a store, pick up DVDs, etc. So they knew it was going to go to the streaming. And by 2010, same thing. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy, and today Netflix is a $128 billion company. Another company that failed to take the digital turn was Blackberry. At some point, they were pretty much the leader. Especially, they had paved the way for the smartphones. They already had keyboards, they had apps. They were much more advanced than the regular cell phone you could find in that day. And unfortunately, they didn't go all the way on the digital transformation turn, and pretty soon they were passed by Apple and all the Android phones. So today they're still around, but definitely not as successful as they used to be. Another example, MySpace, was they had done full digital transformation pretty much, but Zuckerberg came to them with an actual even better digital transformation, which was Facebook, and he offered them to buy it from him for $75 million. They refused, and unfortunately for MySpace, that's pretty much the end of the story for them. They disappeared. And then Sears, Radio Shack, Toys R Us, they were all relying on their retail shops. All of them have filed for bankruptcy. They've all disappeared by now. And lastly, Tower Records filed for bankruptcy in 2004. They had failed to recognize that people wanted to download music. Nobody wanted to buy CDs anymore. So those are all great examples of companies that have either completely disappeared or are not the leader on a market that they could have been the leader on because they failed to take that digital transformation steps. So we can always kid ourselves and say, let's push it back into the future. We'll do it next year. Oh yeah, let's do it in 2020, 2021, 2022. But the longer you push back your digital transformation steps, the more exposed you are, and the more chances you're taking, and you probably don't want to be filing either for bankruptcy or not being the leader of a market